Ciao, Bellas. Welcome to Pleasure Principles, sacred G-spot secrets to embodying your magic, money, sex, and business. My name is Sophia Leva Marie with Nurturing Divine Beauty, and I have a beautiful guest today with me, Dr. Marie Mbouni. She's the founder of Reclaim Your Soul Power, an author of Reclaim Your Gifts, a co-author of The New Feminine Evolutionary. She's a medical doctor turned shaman, energy healer, your spiritual guide, facilitator of retreats. So pretty much I think you have us covered as far as spirituality and sexuality. So I'm so happy you're with us here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a pleasure and an honor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'd love to ask, you say that your medicine is love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to ask, how would you take the medicine of love and actually apply that in healing any misalignment with our sexuality as well as into opening more into it?
Wow. Good question. Is there anything but love? So, to answer your question, I'll go from personal experience.
Please.
First of all, I noticed that every time I had a client or guided someone, they would always tell me, I have never felt so loved in my life. And so as this kept happening, I started realizing that, wow, this is really my biggest gift for the universe, for the collective, and of course for myself. And the journey of love for me started, I think, when I was a child. Like, I didn't have my mother. She had left, and I met her when I was 3. And my parents were divorced, so I wasn't with her, and she had a new husband. And I remember vividly, I was between 2 and 3, and they were walking, and she was holding his hand. And I remember thinking to myself, what does it take to have her hold my hand? What does it take to be loved? What does it take to really belong? So I think that that's really when I started my quest for love, like as far back as I can remember. But at the time, of course, it wasn't conscious. I didn't know. And as I went through my life, I noticed that what people crave, what's underneath everything, is the need to be loved.
Yes.
When you look at it, no matter what way, what is underneath everything is the need to be loved, the need to be accepted, the need to be nurtured, nourished, held, embraced. So coming to the sexuality, what I know for sure, you cannot embody your full sexual power if you do not love yourself or anybody else. It just doesn't happen.
Yes.
Because when you love yourself first, you can start to accept that you are powerful. You can start to accept your sexual power. Because especially as women, we have been very, very, very repressed when it comes to our sexual power. This is how we create. This is how we birth. And the reality is there's a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of anger that can only be healed with love.
Yes.
So, in essence, if we really want to completely open up to who you are sexually and express, because it's not just opening up, it's not just embodying. The last step is the expression of your sexual essence. You can only do that if you have love, because love will heal everything.
Yes.
So I hope that answered the question, but that's the biggest thing that I have discovered. And the other thing that I personally know from experience is that when you have love, you can really bloom. The judgment, the labels, the wanting to name, wanting to define, really melt away. And you can really be you.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I believe.
Beautiful. And I find today that often we are looking for that love outside of ourselves. As you said, we need to have love for ourselves and others. But I think we actually start in the wrong place. We start to try and love other people, even if we may not have that love for ourselves, when truly you can only love the person as much as you love yourself.
Absolutely.
So how can we start to really bring love to ourselves wherever we are in our life, whatever we've experienced, so that we have that for ourselves first, and then we can share it, or as you say, express it?
Yeah. So I think that the first step is awareness. Self-awareness, really knowing where you are. If you know that, because we do need to love ourselves first, for sure. And when you know that maybe you have a challenge or you have a block or you're just not sure, like, what do you mean? First, having that awareness that, okay, this is where I am. I really don't know what they're talking about. Number two, accepting yourself where you are. It's so important. And when you accept yourself, you can forgive yourself for whatever you think you're not doing right or you're not showing up. And when you have that, and that acceptance of yourself, you can then go from that place and start finding what works for you when it comes to self-love. One of the things that I started doing, and to expand on what you said about loving others, when you love yourself, when you really go on that journey, something happens energetically, vibrationally. You become magnetic and you attract that which is your mirror, your equal, like where you are, because we are magnetic people. So when we attract, that's another way you can see what's going on. Like if you keep attracting something that you then say, you know what, I don't like this. Like, why do I always, it's like, well, where are you? Right? You know, people say I always attract men who are ... But it's like, who are you? Because you are who you attract. So when you realize that, and you realize that maybe you don't like the reality that you're experiencing, then you can stop and take stock and make a decision and choose yourself.
Yes.
And say yes to yourself. And then you go from that point. Because then it's not from a place of lack, it's not from a place of beating yourself up, it's not from a place of judgment, but from an empowered, I choose myself now. I say yes to myself, and I'm going on a journey to see what that looks like for me.
Yes.
And something that I started doing every day before I even wake up I place both hands on my heart, or sometimes one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly, or my yoni, or wherever it wants to be. I say to myself, I love you. I love
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love you. I love you. And not because like at first I started saying it and then it became so real. Sometimes I would even sob because it's like, wow,
Mm.
I haven't received this much love. You can
Mm.
only love yourself the best because you know what you need,
Yes.
unless you express those needs to somebody else. So before I don't even look at my phone. I don't open my eyes. The minute I become conscious, I just do that. I love you. 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 I love you so much. I love you. Like I just say it over and over, and it's just so awesome.
That's wonderful. And that's something people can bring into their daily practice
Yes.
of having this love. Now, I love what you brought out about choice, about choosing your yes.
Yes.
I often feel that their yes is actually informed by everyone else. It's informed by religion, it's informed by your family, it's informed by social media or what you think it should be. So how do you find out your yes? And then how do you actually choose that for yourself?
Mm-hmm. That is a huge, very crucial question because you're right. The reality is that unfortunately at this time, many people have been functioning that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what you're bringing here today, having this talk where people can become aware that, wow, okay, how do I actually, am I actually choosing, or am I just letting myself be, entrained by a movement or an idea or my family? And
Mm-hmm.
what works for me, number one, is silence.
Mm.
Silence. And by silence, I don't mean going to a mountain or cave.
That's
Just
maybe not practical on an everyday level. Like, okay, what mountain is
yes,
there?
just it just the image popped in my mind. So for example, if you want to hear what you actually have to say, you need to listen. You
Right.
need to listen to yourself, and you can only do that if you're silent, because yourself, your higher self, is talking to you all day long.
Yes.
And you can only hear that if you carve out time for silence. And I don't mean sitting in meditation for an hour. For example, what I shared this, a little earlier about the I love you practice to myself. And I also mentioned I don't look at my phone for an hour after I wake up. Take
Yeah.
5 minutes sitting on your bed and just asking, what do I want? What do I really, 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 really want? And just let the answer come. Don't even try to meditate. Don't try. You will get the answer if you have the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it might not be easy. You might just kind of be like, oh, this is stupid. But if you keep doing it, you will start hearing. You will start knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is so pervasive that we don't even know that we are actually not choosing.
Yes.
So by you doing that, it is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Just asking, what do I want?
Yes.
But adding, what do I really, 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 really want?
Mm.
With myself, my life, my relationship, my tribe,
Mm-hmm.
my work. What do I want? What do I really want? It's such a powerful question, and I've been doing that myself. And when I first started, it's just like, yeah, I'm hungry, I want, whatever. And the moment I knew that love is my medicine is that one day, and this is actually, I'm emotional. One day I actually allowed myself to admit that what I want is love.
Mm.
It is so big. And the other thing that's important to know is that there is a lot of fear that will show up when you start saying, what do I want? Because one of the things that I know for sure is that we are not actually allowed to want. Every time we want is, oh, don't be selfish, or it's actually not okay to want in our society. Nobody says it out loud, but anytime you want something, or if you say, I want to take time to go to, oh, you're selfish, you should just sit here with us. Why?
Yeah.
So no one is encouraged. Only you can take that power back and really start exploring what you really want at the core of who you are. And that's how you're going to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you're going to know. And
Yes.
it goes with joy, with pleasure. Actually, I had a photo of me. I'm always smiling, and somebody made this comment, you smile too much.
Ah.
So it really sent me into a deep inquiry where I posted this thing like, how long can you hold your joy? How long can you hold your joy until, or your pleasure for that matter? How long can you hold your pleasure until you start feeling guilty, or people tell you, what are you smoking? Or what are you, I want to have, like, why can it not be that I am happy? Do I have to smoke something to be happy? See, that the underlying message under that is that, oh, you can be happy. Like, if you want to be happy, you have to drink, or you have to smoke a joint, or you have to take a drug. What is that message? What is that telling our society, our women? That is not okay.
Right. Yes. Yes. And I love that question, how much pleasure and joy can I hold?
Yeah, until you feel guilty, or you shut yourself down, or it's like, whoa, I'm too much. Or I meet people and they're like, oh, I laugh too much. Why not laugh? Why not?
Yes. Yes. And the stretching into it and the stretching into your receiving, it will naturally bring those up. When I was in Italy, I went to QC Terra Milano, which is this day spa, and I decided to have a technology-free day. And I really went into it as, okay, how much can I actually receive this? And it was so interesting that, my brain was like, oh, what if your clients need you? What if Kristen needs you? Oh, you should move on. You've been here too long. It's really indulgent that you're doing this, and just all these things, that I really decided. And I just decided to stretch myself, and I stretched it out to about 8 hours.
Right. But
and
it was a stretch.
It was a stretch, yes.
Which means receiving pleasure is not okay.
Yes.
That's the underlying message.
Yes.
And then, this conditioning that we all have until you decide to wake up from that sleep is that, oh, you're going to be needed. There is no one, I'm a doctor, so if I'm on call, I kind of have to do it. But if I'm not, I choose an hour in the morning, I do not look at my phone. If it's that important, people will call me.
Yes.
I'm not going to look at any text or social media or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I allow myself to receive myself. It could be 10 minutes or 5, start with baby steps. But if you can't hear the song of your soul, if you can't hear what you long for, how can you have it?
I love what you said about receiving yourself. And in receiving yourself, a part of that is your sexual creative energy. It's how you express yourself in the world. It's your power, it's your creativity, and it's how you have that power and stand in the world. So as you're in this inquiry of what do I really desire, what do I really want, how can I receive more of myself, how can people start to infuse that inquiry and then the choices outside of that with that creative sexual energy?
Mm. Mm, mm, mm. You have the best questions. Right. So, first of all, the question is, are you ready to receive your sexual energy? Before we even go into infusing it, are you know, I have patients who come with things on their breast, or, you know, and it's like, how could you not know that this is there? Oh, I don't look at myself when I take a shower. I just don't look at myself. So the first thing in receiving yourself and really receiving your creative sexual power is in receiving yourself, looking at yourself. Just looking at your skin, looking at your breast, looking at your belly, looking at your legs, your buttocks, your yoni. Look at you. If you want anyone else to look at you.
Yes.
Looking at you, of course, at first it's going to be, you know, I wish I had thinner lips or longer hair or, you know, whatever. And then move past that. It's like, this is who you are. You're not changing. You might work out and, you know, maybe, but you're not going to get taller. You're not going to get whatever. It's like, this is who you are today.
Right.
So as you start to look at yourself, the next step is you really start making love to yourself in the mirror. And by making love, I don't mean, you know, touching yourself, I have an orgasm. I mean, well, it can happen just looking at yourself, but look at yourself and love you. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I just, wow, you're so beautiful. I love your lips. And wow, look at this body that, you know, I'm not working out as much as I would like to, but yet you're still here standing strong. Wow. You know, you start loving yourself. And then from that point, when you really love yourself that way, you will start accepting yourself. And then you can go in the part where you know that you have creative powers, you have sexual powers. A lot of people think they're not creative because maybe they can't paint or they can't, I don't know what, but everybody is creative. And then that creativity and sexuality, take it everywhere. The thing that works for me the most that I can take everywhere is sound and breath. And by that, I mean, if you're eating something, it's like, wow, this, oh, so amazing. And oh, really love this. And so you express anywhere you are and nobody will think anything of it. And the other thing that this will bring you is it actually helps me be mindful. Like I'll do that in the morning where, you know, after I do my I love you and I touch myself or give myself any massage, I'll make sound like, and I know when my brain takes over because I'll stop making the sound. It means I already thought about something else. Like, it makes me laugh.
Squirrel.
So now sound and breath, bring it everywhere. And then everything you do, ask yourself, how can I bring more of my creative sexual power to this? Even if you're typing, like maybe I can sit more, with my, everyday tasks. Don't wait until, you in a bed somewhere with the lights down or whatever. And everything you do, if you walk, maybe sway your hips.
Mm-hmm.
I sway my hips when I drive, and it's like no matter where I am, and I breathe and I smell things, and then that brings out that energy because you have it. And when that energy comes out, it will automatically express. So those are the things that are very practical, very simple. You can do everywhere, and it starts really bringing that awareness. And then you can infuse everything you do with your sexuality and your creativity. And then if you want to go further and maybe start, when I cook sexually and creatively. I cook color, I cook texture. Sometimes I'm like, today it's just going to be red.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I love red. Yummy. Like, you can't help it but smile, right?
Yes. Yes, I love it. So you exude that kind of luscious love and lust for life, no matter what you're doing. And I would love to ask if you would actually take us into an experience where we actually get to feel that love and that connection. I love experiences, and I know our audience does as well.
So, love and connection. So,
yeah, love, connection,
no.
creative.
I'm just
Yes.
I channel and whatever. So I'm kind of tuning in what would benefit
Perfect.
the body. And what comes through is the heart. And I'm going to take us, this is going to be the flow, I'm going to take us in a shamanic journey in our hearts. So we're going to go in there, and then we're going to see what we see. And we're going to, and so if you've never taken a shamanic journey, it's okay. I'm going to use sound. I'm going to use an amethyst alchemy bowl to get us into an altered state of consciousness. And let your journey be what it is. If I say, maybe you hear a bird and you see a lion, go with the lion. It's okay. So I just want to tell everybody who's listening that you need to be, if you're driving, maybe stop, or just don't do the journey and keep your eyes open and repeat it later. But I'll give a few seconds, like if somebody's driving, so you can stop, so you can, it's only going to be like 5 minutes, right? How long do you want it to be?
Whatever you want to lead us through. I'm open to, 6 hours of lusciousness. I mean, I'll miss my women's group.
All right. In that case. Breathing in through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth and connecting to sound. Starting to let your jaw relax. I'm going to transmit a few tones through my voice, and during that time, I'm calling forth the grounding energies of the earth, spiraling up from the core of the earth, deep red, dark red energy coming up, up through our feet chakras, up our bodies, and cascading out of our crown chakras like a beautiful fountain of nurturance and love and support support. So one more breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, connecting to sound. In your inner plane or in your inner realm, find yourself in a beautiful space in nature. A space that is like a meadow with warmth and light of the sun caressing your skin. Feel the grass under you, the softness, the coolness of the grass under your body. Feeling the wind rustling your hair as you start getting more and more relaxed, feeling your neck, relaxing your shoulders, your chest, going down your hips. I invite you now to make very tiny movements with your hips. We hold so much in our hips, our emotions. Maybe gentle pelvic rocks, just moving your hips. If your spine wants to move, allowing your spine to move as you get deeper into relaxation. Come to stillness in your inner journey and become aware of a path in front of you. This path is going to take us into a magical, beautiful place. So in your inner journey, in your inner plane, find yourself standing up and start walking on this path. Noticing everything about the path. There are flowers of all size, shape, color on either side of the path. Notice what you're wearing on your head, on your body, on your feet. Maybe you're naked. Keep walking on this path and become aware of the sound of a waterfall. Waterfall coming up in the distance. Keep walking towards this waterfall. You can pretend, you can imagine, you can make it up. Just find yourself going towards this waterfall. As you get close to the waterfall, you notice that the water is lavender in color. The droplets of water are like little diamonds and little amethysts, catching the sunlight, pouring down into a pond. And I invite you to take your clothes off. Take your clothes off in your inner journey, in your inner plane. And notice how you feel when I say take your clothes off. No judgment, staying in neutrality, just noticing. After you take your clothes off, I now invite you to step under the waterfall. Allowing the waters, the temperature is perfect for you. Allow the waters to wash away all the thoughts, all the to-do lists, all the questions, everything. Allow the waters to pour down your body and cleanse and take away everything that doesn't serve you anymore. If you're ready to let it go, allow it to happen and be cleansed by this waterfall. The powers here are magical. Absorb them. If you feel called, you can open your arms wide and just allow these waters to cleanse you, cleanse you. Releasing, letting go, letting go, letting go. And now I invite you to bring your arms close to your body and immerse yourself in the lavender water pond under the waterfall. You can breathe under these waters. So immerse your whole body and take this opportunity to just let go of what you don't want. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Any places where you feel small, any places where you feel stuck, any places where you feel disconnected, any places where you feel numb. Allow the numbness to just be released in these magical waters so that you may start feeling alive. You can dive, you can swim, you can float, whatever works for you. Allow these healing, magical waters to support you. With the power of my intention, I now direct energy to your sacral chakra, your womb space, your yoni, your sacrum, your spine. Awakening your sexual energy. Feel the heat. Bringing water inside your womb and rinsing and cleansing and releasing everything you're holding in there that doesn't serve you anymore. All the baggage, all the rocks, the blocks, the shame, the anger, the guilt, everything. You can just choose to let it go right now. allowing refreshing, activating waters to go inside your womb and flush and cleanse and come right back out. Rejuvenating your sexual organs right now with these magical waters. Oh. This is your opportunity to give yourself what you need. Take it. Take it. Take it. It's yours. Take it. Take what you need. Everything you need right now. Start getting ready to come out of the pond. Coming out of the pond. Coming out of the pond, walking to the bank, back on the path. And when you arrive on the path, you notice that there's a beautiful towel, huge, big, soft, warm, plush, waiting for you. Pick it up and start drying yourself. Maybe wrapping yourself from your head to your feet, giving yourself warmth, drying yourself up, feeling how safe you are. Now that you dry, as you put the towel down, you notice, you become aware that there's a gorgeous white robe, beautiful robe, soft, perfect for your body, your size, your shape, your height, your needs. Take that robe and put it on. And start walking on the path again, continuing on this journey of self-discovery and healing and connection. As you walk on the path, you start noticing a white light, shimmering light, and you become aware that it's a great mother energy. Mother Kuan Yin or Mother Mary, whichever resonates with you, start walking towards her. It could be a person, it could be an energy, whatever works for you. Just keep walking towards that energy right now. As you get close, right in front of this great mother energy, you look into its eyes and you realize how much love and deep, deep, deep compassion she has for you. She takes her right hand and places it on your chest, the center of your chest, the heart chakra. And she starts beaming healing energy to your heart with deep compassion. She knows all your struggles. She knows all your challenges. She knows every space where you feel small, where you feel stuck, or where you feel confused. She knows it all. She knows you. She knows you, and she loves you anyway. Sending this energy in your heart, and now invite you to become aware of any chains around your heart. Maybe any locks that you have placed on your heart. Maybe other, or any bruising that you have. Become aware of every place that you have swallowed pain inside of you and never said a word. Any places where you have kept your anger under lock, become aware of those spaces. And with the support of the Great Mother and my intention, I now invite you to let go of what you're ready to release right now. Only what you're ready to release. Maybe any chains, locks, bruises, pain, anger, wounds. If you're ready, you can just let them go. Let them go right now so that they may be absorbed with this power of unconditional love that is being beamed to you. Now the Great Mother takes her hand off your chest, but you can still feel all the unconditional love. Now express your gratitude to the Great Mother and to yourself for allowing yourself to go through this experience. And start walking back, coming back on the path, coming back, walking slowly, confidently on this path, coming back diligently, coming back to the place where we first started, in nature. You can sit on the grass, feeling the warmth and light of the sun caressing your skin, the wind blowing, lifting your hair, caressing your skin. And in your inner journey, in your inner plane, I invite you to take a moment and look around you with your eyes closed and look at how everything looks now that you're finishing your journey. Coming back into your bodies, back in your present moment, staying soft. If you have a journal or any record keeper, I invite you to take just a few notes so that you may remember. Take a few seconds. Staying soft. All the messages, the insights, the healing. Welcome back.
That was gorgeous.
Good.
I think, yes. I think the biggest piece for me is that when we were walking back, it was actually the little girl I never got to be. So I think it was like my innocence was walking back and then met my adult self. So that felt really beautiful.
Wow. So awesome.
Well, thank you so much for leading that. It's, yeah, it's such a tender space.
Yeah.
To be in.
Yeah, that's the space that is most challenging for people to be. And I know that when you feel held, you can go there. And that's one of my superpowers, is I can really hold space. So no matter where we go, you can go there. And as women, we are not really always receiving space. We don't hold space for ourselves. People don't hold space for us to go through whatever it is that we're going through. So this is a space I wanted to create so that we could explore that, what it feels like to be held.
And that leads back to kind of where we started. The one thing we'd like is that love, and that includes being held and in that container of safety and tenderness and to be received.
Yes, especially if we are ready to explore and express our sexuality. It's just it's a powerful and yet tender space, because the higher or deeper you go, the more surrender you need. And if you not surrender, if you don't feel safe or if you don't feel held, like, who wants to let go, right?
Very true. Very true. Well, thank you so much for leading us through that beautiful container. I urge everyone to listen to that again and go even deeper. I know I absolutely will. And thank you for the juicy tidbits that you gave us to really go daily into that practice of receiving more of ourselves and that love and that feeling connected. I know you actually have a free gift that will help our listeners go even deeper for themselves.
Yes. I created a quantum infused light encoded gratitude meditation. Science has actually proven that gratitude is the single most important thing that can bring bliss. You hear me? So bliss, we can hold it longer. So and so I'm playing sounds. There's a deep theta track that I included there, so you can really go into your subconscious and start absorbing those vibrations of gratitude. And the more grateful you are, the more you're going to be able to receive, and the more the universe will give you, including love. So that's what I created for you guys.
Oh, beautiful. That sounds amazing. I'm going to listen to that tonight. And for all of our listeners who would like to go deeper into receiving more of themselves, put your name and email below. And just to wrap up, Marie, in this moment, if there was one sacred secret to really embodying that love as well as that connection and sacred sexual energy, and then to have it permeate your life, what would that be?
Mm. The secret is to say yes to yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
Really saying every day, I'm saying yes to myself, no matter where you are, no matter what you think you've done, no matter what, saying yes to you.
Mm.
And as you say yes, you're going to move to your higher yes and your higher yes.
Mm.
That's how you really going to be completely embodied, because it's going to lead to acceptance. We cannot embody if we don't accept.
True. True.
So, and that's something you can do every day. You can even say it. I say yes to myself.
Yes.
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 Yes. Well, thank you for that, Maurice. Thank you so much for being with us today and really taking us on the beautiful journey, both in words and in energy, that opened up a new space of being for all of us.
Thank you so much. So much. I'm so grateful to be able to share and be with you and connect and just enjoy. My pleasure. I love saying the word.
Yes. And again, audience, to go even deeper, put your name and email below. And if you'd like to check out what else Marie has in store for you, go to mariembouni.com. And I do want to thank you for showing up on this shamanic journey today of pleasure principles, sacred G-spot secrets to embodying your magic, money, sex, and business. Ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao.